In this bite-sized video, I am going to be showing you how to do a bucket list if you've never thought about what you want to do, maybe before you shuffle off this mortal coil, or if you think, oh, I don't know if I want to think about that, or if you maybe thought about it years ago and haven't updated it. It's a really important part of getting to know yourself. So, a bucket list. What do I put on my bucket list? So here's some suggestions. You could start with places that you want to visit, but not just write things like the Galapagos Islands or Morocco. You could actually think about why you want to visit and the actual experience of being there. So if it's the Galapagos Islands, is it because you want to see the big tortoises or the marine iguanas, for example, and how you're going to behave when you get there, and you're going to stay at a distance, how close you're going to get. If it's Morocco, is it because you want the sights and sounds of the markets? How's that going to feel? So have a real good think about that. Other things that you could add to your bucket list, you could learn a new thing. That could be a language that you maybe have always wanted to learn, or a new instrument, or a martial art, something like that. So maybe you could add learning a new thing if you're stuck with what to put on your bucket list. Other things, an activity, an extreme sport maybe, or seeing a band that you've always wanted to see, or a famous piece of art. So that's an activity. Another thing to do is don't be afraid of adding real left field or weird things to your list. So, for example, on my bucket list, I have being an extra in a zombie movie, which I've always wanted to do. And I really need to get sorted with trying to organize doing that, because that's always been one of those strange things that's always been on my bucket list. So, don't be afraid to add really way out things onto your bucket list. The other thing is make sure that you include some maybe free, inexpensive, or logistically easy stuff to do. And it's no good putting on your bucket list things like, I want to go into space and I want to climb Everest, because potentially that's unlikely that's going to happen. So maybe make it a little more realistic. So include some free stuff. By all means, shoot for the moon. But if it's all going to be landing on the moon, then maybe that's not going to happen. And also, don't worry if you look at your list and go, well, that seems to be the same as other people's. It might well be predictable, because on mine is seeing the Northern Lights. I'm pretty sure that's on most people's bucket list. Swimming with dolphins, that's on nearly everybody's. It's because they're both wonderful. So there might be a reason why there's lots of things that are similar on people's bucket list. So don't be ashamed of that. But if you're really stuck, ask yourself these questions. What did you want to be or do when you were a child? Now, I really did want to go into space and communicate with aliens. That is not likely to happen. But what can I do instead? I could go and visit the NASA site in America and have a look round, or I could go and visit the SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, and see how they listen for sounds. I find that really interesting. So what could you do to tweak what you wanted to do or be when you were a child, and see how it could make it fit? The other thing to do is you could ask your friends and family for their suggestions, but remember that this is your bucket list and you just want some ideas, and not to just listen to them and write down what they say. This is all about you and finding out who you are. So once you've got some of these things on your list, you could maybe order them. So what needs to go at the top of your list? And maybe make some plans. Which one of those on your list could you do between now and next August? So we're now August 2022. Between now and August 2023, what have you put on your list that is realistic to do within the next year? And start to make some plans. And I'd love to hear about them. So off you go and make your bucket list.